let's speak about Virgin Galactic, baby. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. I got the clothing line to prove that fact. And today we're speaking about Virgin Galactic, baby. So quite a few things are going on here, and I'm seeing a lot of different opinions being given online as of this moment in time, largely down to this: Virgin Galactic files prospectus on $1 billion sale of securities. Now, if you actually go over to the SEC filing, you can see exactly what this is and what this means. It is quite straightforward, realistically, and we will get into that later on, and we'll speak about why I think it could be a good thing and also how it could be a bad thing for the share price in the short term. We will speak about those things. And in order to decipher whether it is potentially a good thing or a bad thing, we're actually going to go all the way back to their investor presentation, which I haven't opened up in many months. We're going to look at their most recent earnings, okay? A little bit in regards to what, they have cash wise. We will take a look at the actual financial results themselves and the free cash flow. And there's just one or two other little things in there that we'll touch on towards the end of the video. But obviously, when any investor sees something like this, they see a prospectus filed on a $1 billion sale of securities, it can cause some concern at times, especially when whoever wrote this article wrote that they could sell mixed securities and up to 2.7 billion shares of common stock when it's supposed to be 2.7 million, as it is quite clear to see, and it's not even 2.7 million. But that's what we're going to speak about today. I'm going to give my thoughts on it and why I am actually quite excited about this. In all honesty, I should premise the video by saying, I'm not one of the guys on Wall Street bets. I understand there's a short squeeze going on, and I'm not really partaking. I'm not trying to time it. I'm not planning on selling my shares. I bought these guys, I don't even know how long ago, probably 9+ months ago. We bought most of our shares somewhere in the realms of $14 to $17. And I plan on holding these guys for years. I kind of expect these guys to make me an awful lot of money, or I think I will lose the majority of my investment. That's where I stand with them. But just understand, I'm not making this from the perspective of somebody who's just playing the short squeeze or whatever it is. I'm investing in the company. So right before we do get into all of this juicy information, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, my friend? It really would mean a lot for me. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And also let me know, are you invested in Virgin Galactic right now? And please, my friend, if you are indeed new around here, consider hitting that juicy red subscribe button and joining the family of investors. It would mean a lot to me. So let's get straight into it, okay? Where the confusion starts is pretty much with this article, because there's not much out there about it right now. It says Virgin Galactic files prospectus on $1 billion sale of securities. And then the next sentence you see is, the company will use the proceeds of approximately $30.7 million for general corporate purposes. How are they going to sell $1 billion in securities and walk away with $30.7 million? That doesn't sound very smart. This is referring to this here, the 2.666667 million shares of common stock underlying outstanding warrants. This here is not a big thing at all, in my opinion. These are issued and outstanding warrants to purchase our common stock at an exercise price of $11.50 per share. They were initially issued in connection with a private placement concurrent with our initial public offering. You've heard this: when SPACs go public, people buy the warrants. So that is all this is referring to. Does not mean very much to us right now at all. It's absolutely fine. The $1 billion, on the other hand, that is a considerably bigger deal. Now, all this means is that at some stage, Virgin Galactic can sell to this amount common stock, preferred stock, debt securities, anything pretty much. It doesn't have to happen in one go. It very much so more than likely would not happen in one go. It could be little pieces every couple of months, every 3 months, every month, whatever way they want to do it. But at the end of the day, my primary concern with this company as of late has been, obviously the balance sheet. We look at it and it's not great. We're going to take a look at it in today's video. They are burning through cash at a considerable rate, and they're not really making money, and they won't be for a little while longer. And even when they start making money, it's not going to catch up with their burn rate, more than likely until late 2022 or else 2023. And that's if things go decently, in my opinion. So this here, yes, it's a considerable amount of money, but it's not like it's all going to happen at once. And Virgin Galactic don't hide the fact that they are going to need to raise capital. They spoke about it in the most recent earnings report, and they said they'll do it though during opportunist times. Now, if I was a betting man, my friends, I would bet that opportunist times are going to start very soon. From their recent lows, they're up over 100%. That's just in the span of just over 2 weeks. Now, from the highs, they're still down nearly 50%. There is a short squeeze going on, okay? They're all over Reddit. They're hyped all over the place. There's a huge short percentage of the float outstanding. A lot of people are trying to squeeze the institutions, such as we've seen happen with AMC very recently. We've seen it with GameStop continually. BlackBerry's being pumped again, etc, etc. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a portion of this capital being raised relatively soon. But I think that's the way you have to think of it, my friends. It's capital being raised for the company. Again, I'm looking at this with a long-term perspective. What happens in the short term doesn't really worry me too much. If it puts the company in a stronger position, I'm a happy investor. So, I mean, if we go back just to May 10th and look at our first quarter 2021 financial results, $617 million of cash as of March 31st. There was a net loss of $130 million for the quarter, and it was adjusted EBITDA of negative $56 million. Now, if we actually have a look at the Q1 earnings presentation, there is a slide dedicated to capital allocation. The priorities are to maintain a strong balance sheet and cash position, and I think this should be a priority for Virgin Galactic right now. Look, space is capital intensive. They have to make this a top priority, or else you run out of money. What you going to do? All of this has been for nothing. Me, you, and every other investor loses all of our money. In order to do that while you're not making money, you have to get it from somewhere. You can't just make it come out of thin air. They want to invest organically for growth, which is again something they've always done. Again, if you do go back to their investor presentation from months and months ago, it speaks about this an awful lot. And it is something that personally I really do love to see. And then opportunistically access the capital markets. This is what they spoke about in their last quarter's earnings. We didn't really know what they meant, but now it's quite clear to see. I mean, they are going to make some money. They're going to raise some capital. Now, if we look at their free cash flow, this to me with Virgin Galactic is more important than just looking at their cash position and their net loss. Q1 2021, negative $50 million. Q2 2021 expected to be in a range of negative $60 million. $600 million in cash on the balance sheet right now. I mean, if it keeps going up at that kind of rate, they don't even have 2 years ahead of them without raising some capital and without making some money. And keep in mind that when more flights are to happen, I mean, expenditures are going to up hugely, and free cash flow, as a result, if we're not making more money, will get worse very quickly. So this wasn't a choice. This is a necessity. If you are investing in the company, we've seen this coming for a long time. Let's be honest, it hasn't been the best balance sheet pretty much since their last raise. So it's for those reasons, when you actually look at the numbers and you look at it logistically, it makes a lot of sense. And again, it was to an extent inevitable. And personally, I think now is a very good time for the company to be doing this. The everyday person is fighting the hedge funds right now. They're trying to artificially pump this price up because there is such a heavy short percentage. People really want to get this to $40 or $50 a share. Is it going to stay there? No, it's going to come back down. We've seen it happen time and time again. This here again, a lot of this was an artificial pump. But if Virgin Galactic can sell some shares at those prices, we're going to be very happy, as opposed to them selling them at $15 or $20 a share. I think this does to an extent prove that the team of Virgin Galactic are very aware of how the stock market actually is working nowadays. It shows that they're not ignorant to the fact that the everyday people can move the markets, and they can also take advantage of this fact while following all SEC rules. So upon initial inspection, do you like to read that headline? No, but when you actually think about it, is it a good thing for you as an investor? Yes. Keep in mind, guys, that Virgin Galactic is so much closer than it's ever been before to actually bringing people to space. May 22nd, completed the first human space flight from Spaceport America, New Mexico. This is absolutely huge. Keep in mind, guys, that billion could potentially be going towards, who knows, another spaceport down the line, or new vehicles, etc, etc. More employees, more research and development, more testing. All of this stuff is very capital intensive. This has happened. Richard Branson's going to space relatively soon in the grand scheme of things, my friends. I don't think we need to get too caught up in exactly when, because we know about the delays, but the thing is, every day that passes, we still are getting a day closer one way or the other. And one more thing is actually this. The Moscow exchanges to list 20 new international stocks for trading, and Virgin Galactic being one of them. Now, I'm not trying to read into this too much. I don't know if it's going to have realistically any effect on the share price, but it is something I wanted to point out. I have seen on some forums speculation that potentially Virgin Galactic is going to have their next spaceport in Russia, and that's part of the reason. I think that's, you know, stretching a little bit, but I did want to point it out to you guys just in case you weren't aware, as it's worth knowing. Why not? It's no harm to know. Now, when we go ahead and look at the chart, there's a few interesting things that have happened that we simply can't ignore. Okay. There was a gap back here. Now, that was filled a long time ago. We don't need to worry about it anymore, but this is a really interesting place because we actually gapped around it twice. But you can see that we spent a lot of time trading around here. We broke out above, made some nice little short-term highs, retraced back down, but we haven't hit here at all, and there is a very clear upward trend forming. So if we can keep it up at this rate, start looking towards here, breaking through that $35-ish mark. That's why a lot of people on the forums you'll see are saying 40 or so. It's a nice round number, and realistically, if they are to break through 35, you are more than likely going to see $38 to $40 a share. On the other hand, look, a gap has been created to an extent. In fact, two gaps have been created. This is the thing about short squeezes. This isn't healthy price action at all, and there is definitely a chance that at some stage these gaps get filled. Now, what I will say is there's been a lot of price action either side. It's not the biggest gaps in the whole wide world. I don't think they're a big deal, but again, I want to point them out to you guys so you are aware. But if we are to see a major pullback, I think that's where we should be looking towards, somewhere around maybe the $22 to $23 range. And then from there, again, back down to the 17 to 18s. I know right now that's not what people want to hear, but it's not outside the realms of possibility. Keep in mind, a lot of the reason we're going up right now is artificial pumping. But I think all in all, guys, this is exciting stuff. I mean, I'm happy it's happening. Genuinely, as a Virgin Galactic investor, it's going to put the company, not the stock, but the company in a stronger long-term position, and the stock will catch up at some stage. But anyway, my friends, if you watch this video all the way till the end, you are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. Your support means the world to me. If you enjoyed the video, perhaps took some entertainment, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, maybe drop me a comment down below, and please subscribe if you're new around here. But anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I hope you're taking it easy, getting a nice rest for yourself. I'll see you for another video very soon. Peace.